Hebrew chapter 11, verse 24 to 26. By faith, Moses, when he became of age, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he looked to the reward. We see the characteristic of Moses in these verses. I have read up to verse 26 of Hebrew 11 from verse 24. He refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. It was a title, it was a privilege, the son of the princess of Egypt. We are following the pattern of United Kingdom legally and in government setup because we were ruled by United Kingdom. So in United Kingdom there are two classes, commons and lords. There are two houses. Parliament is divided into two houses. One house is House of Lords, another house is House of Commons. So one house, it is just like Lok Sabha, that is House of Commons, common people. There is a class called common people in UK. Another class is called Lords, the House of Lords. Lords, they are not common people. They have a title Lord. So there are some special privileges for those lords in UK. Either they are born in a royal family or they are conferred the title Lord. For example, Indian businessman Swaraj Pal, he got the title Lord, that status, that privilege, Lord Swaraj Pal. So in India, VIP and public, there are two classes in India. VIPs are treated differently. They have privileges, and public, they are treated differently. So there is a lobby against this VIP treatment is objected, criticized, and there is a lobby campaign is going on in media against this VIP and public that discrimination. But even in 21st century in democratic countries, things are like that. Just imagine 3,500 years back in a country ruled by kings. The Egypt was a superpower in that time, just like America, more than America. Egypt was powerful, the richest country in the world. Egypt supplied food to the whole world during the 7 years famine time of Joseph. So just imagine, just like a vice president of America, or just like a governor of a state in America, such a or a governor in the Indian state, such a status Moses had. But Moses quit that privilege, that status, sacrificed that privilege, and he denied that, he refused that, and he chose to suffer affliction with the people of God. So the question here hangs a question. Even though he was a born Hebrew, he was adopted by the princess of Egypt. Even though he was brought up by his own mother, but legally he was a son of the princess of Egypt. So he had everything. He had privileges, he had status, he had everything, title, everything. But he quit that, he left that, sacrificed that, and chose to be with the people of God who were suffering. The question is, who are our associates? Are we associated with the worldly people who are enjoying the world, or are we associated with the people of God even though they suffer? I heard a preacher preaching, a very famous American preacher preaching, don't get associated with people of defeat, get associated with the people of success. So he said he used to get associated with a successful businessman, successful sportsmen, successful professionals. So he was particular about successful people. But what happened? His ministry failed, his life failed, he fell down, really sad thing. But the question is, am I associated with the successful people or people who are suffering? That is not the question. Are successful or failure is not the question. Are they worldly or are they godly? Am I associated with godly people? They are sufferings, no problem. They are suffering. They are slaves, no problem. They have no human rights. They have no labor rights, no status, no riches, nothing. No education, no rights, no powers, no voice, no problem. They are God's people. So Moses, he chose to be associated with God's people. That's the secret of his success. Secondly, he considered esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. And he looked forward, he looked to the reward. Why he left everything, all the riches, privileges, title, everything, and powers, authority, and everything, and the human glory, respect, honor, everything, and join the people of God who were slaves and who were suffering. He looked forward, he looked afar, he could see a reward, God's reward. The same thing Jesus did in Hebrew chapter 12, verse 2. What Jesus did, he looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and as sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. 3. For consider him who endured such hostility from sinners against himself, lest you become weary and discouraged in your souls. And verse 1, and also said the same thing. He was looking at the joy and the throne which he was going to sit at the right hand of the Father, and the joy he would receive after facing the cross. So he endured the cross, tolerated the cross, accepted the cross, sufferings, shame, everything. The same thing happened in Moses' life. He looked forward, he looked afar off. He could see the reward of God is waiting for him. So he chose the worldly pleasures, the worldly glory. He didn't choose them. He chose the future reward of God. That's why Moses was successful. Let's also have the same outlook, the long sight. Let us have forward outlook like Jesus and like Moses, and be used and be successful. Amen.